Welcome, welcome, welcome to another edition of the Platinum Initiative podcast. I'm Waz and joined as always by Dex and Healed, and today we are graced by the lovely presence of No More Updates.
Actually, earlier tonight we were playing Battlefield 1 and No More Updates gave me an update. So, his name is a lie. You must change your name.
You see, the thing is, PlayStation has rules. You can't change your name anymore.
Yeah, you can.
You're a liar, you see? His name's a liar, he's a liar.
He doesn't read the updates. That's the problem.
Exactly. Exactly.
You can change as many times as you want. First time's free, then it's what, $10?
I thought it was 5.
Oh,
Well, that's
even better.
definitely not happening.
Oh, so it messes
Wait.
up your PS3 games, so.
You're in at 10, but you're out at 5? Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
No, I'm definitely not changing it at all.
Okay, well,
'Cause that would-
I'm just
that
saying,
would be an update.
you're a liar.
I remember when I actually made this name, and it all had to do with an inside joke from the job I used to have.
Do you want to tell us the joke?
He's just going to leave it there.
Well, it's an inside joke. It's one of those things where it's like, if I try to explain it to you, it's probably just not going to be funny.
Nah, I mean, you're not funny regardless, so you're right. We should just move on.
Why did I agree to be here? Why did I agree to be
You
here?
didn't agree. You asked to be here, okay? So
Wow.
You're just-
okay, go in there from the beginning.
straight
I
up,
see.
straight up liar. I told you, Oz. We gotta do something about this guy. Also, he's not very good at Battlefield 1. Just saying.
All right.
Why is he not very good at Battlefield 1?
I don't know. He's,
Oh well, I'll tell you that. It's because I'm not very good at Battlefield 1.
he's
basically was picture yourself playing the game. That's him.
slightly better, but yeah.
I'm slightly better? Why, thank you.
That's not exactly the
Sure.
direction we were going with it, but
Sure.
sure.
All right. Well, regardless, so I've had a pretty good week. Haven't made a whole lot of progress on some games that I've been playing, but not too bad. How have you guys been doing?
Well, as you know, I had my Japan trip and then surgery, so haven't gotten to play that much recently, but I did replay BioShock Infinite for the first time since it came out. Still a good game, slightly overrated, but still a good game.
How's it overrated?
People say it's the best game of the series because of the story, and while it does have the best story, it has the worst gameplay. In my opinion, gameplay matters more, so I would say it's the second best game in the series.
Did you like the first one or the second one more?
The first one, I felt like the first one is the overall the most complete package. Great gameplay, great story.
Depends. I personally value story over gameplay, so, and I didn't really care for the story in the first game, but I like the story in
Well,
Infinite.
let me put it this way. I can't play a game that has a bad story but is fun to play. I can play a game that... Wait, where was I going with this?
I know.
You
I know.
got it backwards.
yeah, I did have it backwards. I had it backwards. Anyway, but yeah, that's my point. Beyond Two Souls, I'm gonna go back to this again, Ross. Arguably, maybe, if you can stay awake, has a decent story, but no gameplay whatsoever, so I can't stay awake.
Didn't we argue what gameplay is?
And
yes,
and we
but-
decided that Waz was wrong.
I don't think so.
Well, you were outvoted. But anyway, the point is that story is also something. Well, it's boring to me, so therefore I can't play that game.
It's not great.
A story
no.
gets me a story gets me invested in the game. If it has some good gameplay, I can play it for a while and I'll like it fine. But I won't get into the game unless it has a good story.
Okay, no more. Have you played the BioShock games?
Yes, and personally, my favorite's the second one.
Oh, so you're as wrong as Was about most things.
Wait, I didn't vote.
Well, you wouldn't know what to vote for.
Yeah,
'cause
you-
you have
hold
to
on.
ask your wife first.
Yeah, you haven't
So-
played
so-
them, but you were wrong about Beyond Two Souls, so
Hold
he's
on.
as wrong as
Hold
you.
I've played them all. I've played
Oh,
them all.
really?
Thank you. Oh yes,
I don't believe you.
and I've
Surprising.
completed them all. I haven't platinumed. Completed them.
Didn't we just have this conversation with him 2 days ago, and he said no, my wife has though?
No, you didn't.
They're like his wife's one of her like favorite types of games or something. She really enjoyed it.
It's her favorite. Yes, it's one of her favorite games. I asked what games are like BioShock.
You know what? If I
Um,
could use my keyboard right now without making a ton of noise, I would double check that. I swear you said you haven't played those games before. But if you have,
Dollar bet. Hold on. Dollar bet.
no, because you would know better than I would.
Okay.
But hold on. So, what's your favorite BioShock game?
I think the first one was because I think that the uniqueness of it at the time, and it was a lot more creepy. The second one, I think the gameplay was a lot more fun because you got to play as the Big Daddy, but it wasn't as we'll say, I don't want to say scary because it's not really a scary game, but to not reuse the word creepy, and Infinite was okay, but it just to me didn't really feel like a BioShock game.
Okay.
Maybe because you weren't underwater.
Okay. Overall, complete package. In my opinion, it goes 1, Infinite, 2. Gameplay wise, it goes 2, 1, Infinite. Story wise, Infinite, 1, 2. I've had this opinion ever since Infinite came out, and it will not change. And I platinumed all 3 games this year, so I've replayed them somewhat recently. So yeah. Okay. I don't know how No More came to the conclusion that 2 is the best one.
I
Yep.
can sort of understand how he would, because I understand the inner workings of his mind, and he does gameplay over story, definitely. And if the one that you said has the best gameplay, has the best
No, no,
gameplay,
no.
that'd be the one he picked.
I said the overall package is what matters the most. And by
No, but that's why I was saying
Yeah.
No More.
And coming up
Oh,
next
yeah.
on the BioShock podcast, we'll discuss
well,
are
hold
the
on.
little sisters truly related?
Hold on. This is somewhat relevant because there are rumors of a BioShock 3 being announced later this year. However, it will not be made by the original studio because that studio no longer exists. And the director of the series abandoned ship. He went on to make his own indie studio. They have not released a single game yet. I have no idea what he's been doing the last 6 years. But apparently 2K is making another BioShock game. Are you guys interested, knowing that the original studio will not be making the game?
Interested, but skeptical that it is going to be on the same level as the other ones.
Healed?
It mostly just depends on seeing the not like the the cinematic trailers or whatever, but like the gameplay trailers and seeing how it works.
No more?
Yeah, I was kind of going to say the same thing. As far as when the game actually releases and there's real gameplay of it, not just trailers or stuff that can be filler, it'll be, if the game is different enough, then it'll make sense. Oh, okay, well, this was a different studio. But if it's still kind of the same thing, I really couldn't care less who made it.
Okay, so here's another question regarding BioShock. Would you want it to go back to Rapture, go back to Columbia? I'm not sure they could go back to Columbia because it blew up. Or would you want just a fresh environment? Because I feel like a fresh environment would be the only thing that would make sense if a new studio is making it.
Or do you do the movie treatment and reboot it? Basically pick a Rapture-like environment. It's like a sister location that exists somewhere else, but it's relatively the same thing.
Yeah,
I totally wouldn't play it if they did it that
you
way.
could do that.
Yeah.
You could also just have it be Rapture, but different events play out because of the whole multi-universe thing they revealed at the end of Infinite. Spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't played it.
Oh, jeez.
Okay,
Now we got to put a warning on
it
this.
came out 6 years ago. Just
And
saying.
was a PS Plus game. So if anybody ever cared to play it, they had an opportunity. So
Several times. It's been remastered. It's been a PS Plus game. I'm sure at one point you could find it at Target in the bargain bin.
It was bargain bin. They had a parade. Everything.
LeBron James gave it out. Like, just came to your house, just gave it to you. So,
Well, he was going to, but he was a month too late, so he had to keep it.
yeah. I remember hearing about that. Anyway, so, moving on. I'm not
I like how no one understood that joke.
I'm not. Okay, moving on. I'm not sure if we talked about this last time. I think we did on the podcast about the Xbox consoles, like the next Xbox having 2 different versions of the console.
yeah, I think we discussed that. We discussed that one in the
We
E3
did.
one.
Oh, well, that one technically doesn't exist. That's a lost episode. Only our special people will get to listen to that one. But I'm not sure if we talked about it. It might have been just a conversation we had one night.
It might have been the one before that then.
But anyway, they were originally making 2 different consoles. One was going to be like the weaker version, and one was going to be the stronger version, kind of like the Xbox One S and the Xbox One X. Apparently, developers gave their opinion, and they didn't like the idea of developing for 2 different models straight out of the gate, and Xbox has canceled the weaker version of the console. I'm actually very happy about that, because I think that console would have held developers back from putting their full force into a game. Because when you're developing a game, you have to develop it in mind for whatever the weakest machine it's going to be on will be. So, yeah, it would definitely be held back. What do you guys think?
I just never understood. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that I think it makes more sense because then there's less like confusion when buying them, type thing.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I don't understand with all of the market noise there is. I mean, heck, in a year's time, there's going to be how many different consoles out there, and then there's different versions in between them. Why compete with yourselves? Is just go out there with the best product, and don't make a lesser one. Just go out there with the best product and just try to own the market as best as possible.
Well,
They're going to confuse people, and then they'll steer them away.
It seemed like they were trying to go with the Apple model, with iPhones and tablets, but that doesn't make sense for video games in my opinion. So I didn't like it, at least not out of the gate. I understand doing what Nintendo does, which is what they just announced with the Nintendo Switch Lite. Like 2 years later, you make a cheaper model for people who have been sort of on the fence of whether they want to buy into the product or not. That makes sense, like the PlayStation 4 Slim, the Xbox One S. All that makes sense to me, but releasing it at the same time, I don't know. Just market confusion, yes. Holding developers back, yes. Why bother? Who knows?
Well, isn't that going to be the same problem with the Switch Lite? Because aren't there a couple of games that won't even work on it?
I mean, sort of, because I knew you wouldn't be able to play Mario Party because, like, the way you have to play Mario Party is with those the Joy-Cons
right,
for a
yeah.
lot of games, so you wouldn't be able to play some of the mini games and stuff.
That is also confusing to me. I don't know why. I mean, I know why they're doing it. They do this every time when a new Pokemon game is coming out. They create a cheaper model so parents can buy it for their kids to play Pokemon on. It happened with the 2DS, where they took out the 3D functions. It happened.
Needed a block.
Yeah, that stupid design. It happened with I think the Game Boy Advance SP was supposed to technically be that, but it was actually better.
So they're basically making a I can't really call it a console anymore, really, but they're making a device, the Switch device, that relatively is just a handheld now, right?
Right.
But there's
Yeah.
already a 3DS and there's already a 2DS.
Well, the 3DS and the 2DS are
2DS anymore?
they're done. Like they're phased out.
Well, it looks like they're going to be, but the guy, oh god, what's his name? Mr. Bowser. Yeah, Bowser is the CEO of Nintendo
Yep.
or whatever.
Nintendo of
That's
America.
kinda dumb. Nintendo America.
Yeah.
There you go. That dude, I forget what his first name is. Anyway, it doesn't matter. He said that they're not done with the 3DS, 2DS things, but at the same time, them doing this seems like they're probably just going to kill it off.
I think that's just market talk. Like they already made a bunch of 3DSs that they have to get off the shelves, and so they're gonna say, "Oh yeah, we're not done with it." But think about it. What's the next 3DS game that they're making that's coming out? I can't think of a single one.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of spells out done with.
Yeah, they have to support the stores that still have a bunch of inventory. So yeah, they can't come out and say that's all she wrote.
So, yeah, I mean, it makes sense with the Switch, and it doesn't make sense at the same time. Cheaper model, but you're cutting off a bunch of games that won't be able to run on it. So, I don't know. I'm not really interested in it. I already have a Nintendo Switch, and like, why would I want something with less functionality? Also, the price point is ridiculous, $200, and you cut out basically the only thing interesting about it.
What's a Switch now? 300 normally.
It's 300, yeah. But they took out literally all the functions that made it the Switch. So
They just basically made it a tablet that plays Nintendo games.
no.
I don't think it's a bad price point. But it would have to be, as a handheld device, it would have to be a better handheld device than what the Switch provides today,
And
by far.
it's not. So yeah. In other news regarding PlayStation, I'm hearing rumors that the PlayStation 5, and this actually relates to Xbox as well, the next Xbox might be delayed. They might not come out next year because of the tariffs on video game consoles. That is kind of worrisome. I know we don't want to talk about politics, but would you guys be okay with the consoles not coming out next year?
Well, I have enough of a backlog to finish that it wouldn't bother me that much.
I think for me, it depends on what the PS5 actually is. To get, I mean, because of course it's like, will we buy it day one? Will we buy it day one? I don't know about you guys, but I think we already talked about this. I'll probably end up buying it day one. Mostly because it's backwards compatible, or supposed to be backwards compatible anyway. So it's like, oh, what's the difference? But I think for me to say, well, I'm not going to mind that it's delayed. It depends on what those feature differences are compared to the PS4. You know, we talked about this before. You know, no load screens and all that kind of fun stuff. We've put up with it for years, so what's an extra however long? But I don't know, not to pull a no more updates and sit on the fence.
No more. What about you? How do you feel about it?
I'm in agreement with Healed on the fact that, you know, I'm looking at all the PlayStation 4 games that I still have just in my collection that I've never even played. I've just bought them on the thing, like, on the mindset of, oh, this is a pretty good price. The game looks pretty interesting. And, you know, as a trophy hunter, oh, the trophy list isn't that bad. Let me go ahead and pick it up. And whether that's physical copy, because I've got plenty of those, or whether that's a digital copy, it's kind of the same thing. And there are so many that I guarantee I have over a year's worth in hours of gameplay. So delaying the PS5, you know, whatever, however long, it really isn't going to phase me. I look forward to whatever the new technology brings. And, you know, there are things that I'd like, I can't wait to see, you know, faster load times, a faster system, obviously one that doesn't sound like a jet engine. I think things like that'll be great, but um, kind of going with that, I'm also not just as a guy that's worked with technology. I used to be a computer repair technician. I know what it's like when a new computer comes out and everybody's like, "Oh man, this is great. This is super awesome." You take it home, you plug it in, you maybe use it one day, and then boom, you get hit with all the bugs and you get hit with all the issues that people start reporting in, and so you spend a lot of the next couple days just running updates or running patches and stuff like that. And so that's kind of what I want to avoid. And so I'm not necessarily even going to be a day one buyer. I'd rather wait for a sale later on or something like that anyway, and still get one new. But that way I can let all the people that do buy it be the guinea pigs, so I don't have to be, and I don't have to suffer through, oh, well, my system's bricked, my system's broken, my system's whatever, or anything like that. Because I've seen it time and time again with computers and phones and all kinds of stuff, and
Well,
I'd rather just
don't
wait
worry.
it out.
Don't worry, man. Waz and I will be there day one and we'll test it for you.
Appreciate it.
No, but I understand what you're saying. Like, I also have a huge backlog. I can think of like 10 games that I still need to play this year. But
10? Wow, you don't have a backlog at all.
no,
Not at all.
No. Hold on. I've got like 100 games in my library that I still have to play. I'm talking about 10 games that I actually like am looking forward to playing as soon as possible.
Still.
Okay, let me get to my point. The PS5 will be backwards compatible, so I will be able to play those games on the PS5, potentially with better graphics, better frame rate, all those bells and whistles, depending on how they plan to do that. Maybe they plan to patch it like they did with the PS4 Pro, I don't know. So, that alone, it does kind of bother me if it would get delayed, but more than that, I feel like a big part of gaming for me is looking forward to new games. And you've got to, you guys have noticed it, I'm sure. Just look at E3. Most of the games that were shown were like cinematic trailers. It's because they're working on the next generation of games. There aren't really that many big games left to release on the PS4 and Xbox One. If we have to wait another year, what are we playing back last year in terms of new stuff? I feel like,
Well, Cyberpunk 2077 is still coming out on this gen.
yeah,
Well, you got a year to play it then.
Borderlands 3. Well,
You've-
no, not if it's going to be backwards compatible on the PS5. Because think about it like that, and that's me also agreeing with what you're saying, Dex. That it will have that backwards compatibility, obviously, but you're going to get bottlenecked by what the game itself was programmed to do on that specific disc it was put on, or from whatever the place it gets downloaded from, because really what game is fully on the disc nowadays? I mean, you get a new game home and you have to spend a whole day downloading the rest of it. But take for example Borderlands: The Handsome Collection. The company that did that, 2K, they gave everybody a free Ultra HD upgrade because, hey, this is what we've developed. It was like 15 gigs. Here's a brand new update. It's free for everybody, along with some DLC. That was free for a limited time, but they gave that away so it could enhance the experience. Now, obviously, that's still limited based off, yes, the PS4's hardware, B, your television's hardware, and then obviously the game itself. So even if I did get a PS5, which had brand new bells and whistles, and I had my same old TV, even though, yes, it is a 4K, unless the game comes with a way or is supposed to inherently be able to support those better graphics, the only thing that really could change would be load times, which again would be great.
well,
but
hold on.
hold
on. What's to say that they don't, from now on, start using the PC model where you download the game and based off what console you're using, whether it's the PS4 or the PS5, you get those settings.
I'm just going off the fact that until I hear that that's the case, which you're right, you are absolutely correct. Until I hear that that's something that developers are going to start putting the time in to do, because again, that's just extra work for them, then I
Not
can't.
necessarily.
I can't rely on. Oh well, what if they start doing this? Because we could sit here and say, what if everything?
It wouldn't take extra work because they're already making the game like that for PC, and honestly, a PS4 port or an Xbox One port is just a port from the PC.
Is Spider-Man 4 on the PC? Or it's not Spider-Man 4. Is Spider-Man for the PS4 on the PC?
Obviously not, but it's made
But that's-
in-house by Sony, so they would
You're
have-
right, but that's just what I'm saying. We could give
Yeah.
hypotheticals about this game or that game.
Sure.
But again, until I'm told something more definitive, because that would be great. If that were the case, I'd be all for it. Because I'm going to go back just a little bit to when you were talking about the Xbox and whether it should have two systems out the gate. I'm kind of more on the simplistic line where you're right, why compete with yourself? But also, is it wrong to just want companies to future-proof their consoles from the beginning and then focus on just games and supporting the rest of the time instead of just being cash grab mechanics? I mean, is that wrong?
But that's what having the two consoles is. That feels like a cash grab.
Exactly.
Or they're attempting
Yeah.
to.
You're right.
Yeah.
And so I agree with the developers not wanting to do that. And so that's why I'm thinking too, and I would also agree with them that, hey, let's just make a system. But even still, take the PS4, for example. I think it's stupid that we had the PS4 at release, and then we had the PS4 Slim, and then we had the PS4 Pro. I mean, what hardware really developed within that timeline to support the PS4 Pro that couldn't have been in the PS4 at the time? Now, I'm not saying that as in like they lied to us, because I'm not a console developer.
I can tell you that the PS4 would have been $600 if it had come out with what was in the PS4 Pro in 2013.
However, and that's okay. However, I bought a PS4. I traded that in. I stupidly bought a Slim. I traded that in. I bought a Pro. How much more did I spend
You
when
fell
I
for
really?
the trap, though. That's your
You're,
fault.
yeah, well, okay. There are other circumstances for that, and yes, part of it is obviously stupidity. But that's my thing: is if I get suckered in, or even just thinking about other people, whether it's me being stupid or anything, suckering people into new bells and whistles, I just think is sly. Even if it is something that obviously I fell for, yeah. I'll admit that I did it, and I guess it's just
it's
being
not gonna,
hopeful.
It's not going to change though. Like console iterations have been around since like the SNES. Every company does it. That's not going to change. It's not going to go away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't mind them.
I don't
Especially
either.
if they do it at the middle.
I
Like,
still
I don't
have.
understand why you need 3, or
Yeah.
like how Xbox did. Dude, I really don't understand how they did it with the Xbox stuff this generation.
I still
with
have
all
my
of those,
original PS4 and my original Xbox One. I didn't fall for the trap.
but,
But okay,
see,
hold on.
I mean, I did
I have one
upgrade.
foot of all of them.
Yeah, well, you're a special circumstance. Let's put it that way.
Hold on. There's one thing that I brought up that no one has commented on. Would you be okay? Because I think No More was confused. So the consoles are supposed to come out in November 2020. So under these circumstances, they wouldn't come out until 2021. That means that, as far as we know, there's not much coming out after May 2020. Like, we know Last of Us 2 is supposed to come out, Cyberpunk, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Those are the 3 big games that are coming out next year, early next year. After that, we don't know about anything, because it was supposed to be PS5 and whatever the next Xbox console are games. If they don't come out, that means we're looking at potentially a year and a half without any major releases.
Yes.
I think
So-
you're asking the concern to the wrong people. You're saying should we be concerned, Whereas we can just fill it in as like, well, we got a backlog, we got this, blah blah blah. People
Yeah.
should be concerned are the companies themselves, because Sony doesn't have a really nice holiday season or a spring season that
Yeah.
XYZ blockbuster comes out and they make,
Certainly.
because it's then going to be delayed. So they're the ones that are to be concerned. So I don't think at the end of the day it should be a concern for us, because either they're going to, maybe to our detriment, try to rush a console out sooner than it should be, or they're going to try to backwards port a game to get that sale, which will fill our greedy need of having to play a new game.
Okay, certainly, you're 100% right. They should be the ones that are mostly concerned, and they are. They actually, Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony teamed up and wrote a letter to Congress about this. Like, that's how seriously they're taking it. But am I the only one that feels like, during summertime, when there aren't very many new games coming out, isn't it less boring? Yeah, sure, you have a backlog, and you'll always have that backlog. It never ends, trust me, guys. It never ends. But it's a little bit less boring, like, to even come online and talk to your friends, like, about video games.
You mean more boring?
Yeah, more boring. Sorry.
Yeah.
You're just a contrarian to
backwards
yourself.
I'm sorry. I'm very tired. I didn't sleep well last night. I'm sorry. It's a little bit more boring when there aren't new games coming out, and the summertime
Did
is
no
a
more
prime
read you one
example.
of his bedtime stories again? No.
Yeah, he did.
Well, okay. I can see why you'd say that, but honestly, like, I'm not a person who buys new games, so I really don't care about the new games until a long time after them coming out.
Says
and
the
then on
person
sale.
that had to buy Rage 2.
Okay,
that is
special
buying a new-
circumstance.
Whatever, the Monster Hunter expansion when that comes out.
Expansions
had-
don't count.
That had to stop talking to people when the Final Fantasy 72 expansion
Also,
came.
Okay,
expansions.
well, look, to come to
Expansions
Heald's
are different.
defense, don't we all have things that are just day ones for us? Because we can all say, oh, well, I don't buy new this, I don't buy new that. But at the end of the day, we all have that stuff that's, oh, wow, this is a huge, big deal to me. So, let's go buy that day one.
Sure, but
No,
and
I don't say that though.
Okay, yeah.
You don't. Okay, fine. Verbally, you don't
Alright.
have to say it, but you're thinking.
I think we all agree with that, but that doesn't change the fact that
I think it's your opinion.
during the summer,
It is your opinion, Dex. Because I'll have you know, my summer has been filled with work. That's the adult life, and B,
Same here.
and then B. I mean, here I am. We're now playing Battlefield 1. How old is that game? And that's been a fun, enjoyable time of me getting smoked. Now, granted, I'm trash at that game. I absolutely am. But I've still filled my time enjoying fun conversation, even about old games. I'm replaying Borderlands, the Game of the Year edition on PS4. I mean,
However, we're in the minority of gamers.
I know, but that's what I'm saying is
If
it's,
you
it's
weren't-
opinion.
if you weren't a trophy
If
hunter,
Dex
if you weren't a trophy hunter, would you feel the same way?
I would.
probably, just
No.
because again I've got so many games that I could play, whether or not I'm a trophy hunter or not.
Okay, what about Waz? You haven't voiced your opinion on this?
No, I think that if you don't have new releases coming out, or I shouldn't say new releases, there are always games coming out.
Yeah.
Like big releases. If you don't have that coming out in the summer, it is a more of a boring summer, we'll say, to use your words, than if there's another release. I just look out there at two of my kids that they say they go after trophies. They don't. They don't really care. They just do it because they want to seemingly compete with me. But for them, they see a game and they're like, oh, I have to play that game. And like most kids, they play it for a week and then go shove it to the side and they're back to playing Fortnite again. So for them, it's like what games used to be before trophies. That next big game comes out, you got to play it, you got to play it, you got to play it. Your backlog wasn't really the backlog that it is today. You have accomplishments that you want to get on your backlog, getting those trophies or achievements, I guess, for the Xbox world. Um, your backlog a decade ago was just games. They were games you owned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
No.
trophy hunting. You look at the world very differently, and most video game players, I think
Yeah.
most video game players, they like trophies, but they don't really care.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, but like, I see what you mean by that, but at the same time, the way I'm trying to explain it is, even if there wasn't trophies and I didn't care about all that stuff, I would still have my backlog. My backlog, I'm not playing them because I want trophies. My backlog, I'm playing them because they're games that have built up over time from playing new games, and they just get pushed back. There's still games that I want to play, and there's still games that I would play.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
If you weren't a trophy hunter, you wouldn't spend as much time in every individual game, and that backlog would go away much quicker.
It would go away faster. True, but I still, from the time that I started playing games, which was a long time ago, for not Waz's standards, because he's like 87, but for like normal people standards, it was a long time ago, and there weren't like trophies and everything. I still had a backlog. I still didn't care about new games coming out. I bought things that were cheap, and then I bought a lot of them when they're on sale, and that's what I would play until the other newer games got old and dropped to sale again. I never really cared about big launches and all that stuff.
All right.
I think it comes down to age and just opinion. Because you're right. Healed, it's just like you said. There are obviously those growing up that just played exactly what they had, and they moved on whenever they finished it, or they just wanted to move on. But also you have kids in today's generation that want different things now. I mean, that's almost a lot of people's mentality nowadays take for example Netflix and binging shows. We want the next episode right away. We want to roll right into it. We want the next game right away. We want the next release right away. So I see it both ways. In my opinion, I don't personally care whether or not there's a new release in the summer, because I'm probably going to wait till it's on sale. That's just me. But for your kids, for example, it totally makes sense. They want a new game, and so like Dex was saying, it probably could be a boring summer if they want the next latest and greatest, and it's not there for them.
Okay, so it's 2-2, but sadly I'm on Waz's side, so I'll take the loss. although Waz, you backed me up real well. Virtual fist bump.
I tried.
Yeah. I mean, he's right though. No More's right. It is all about your opinion.
It's clearly an opinion, whether the summer is more boring or not. But to reiterate back to the point of, it's pockets that are going to really feel it if there's not a big release. Because again, back to my kids who just they see something, they have to have it, kind of thing. I don't want to name a comedian because he was part of a certain movement and did things inappropriate. However, he had a famous line about how mostly Americans, I guess, but we get all up in arms because we can't have something that we didn't know existed 5 minutes ago. And that's kind of what gaming is. Heck, that's the PS5 right there.
Every time you guys make fun of Americans, I feel really good. Because I'm not American. Apparently no more didn't know that about me until earlier tonight.
Well, okay, I knew you weren't from America, but I at least thought you were an American.
Okay, well, I'm not really sure
This
what that means.
This is also completely irrelevant.
That's like semantics. I'm not sure what that means. Like, do I live in America? Yes.
So, anyway.
Okay. So, I'm gonna have a
thing tonight.
I'm gonna have a 30-second conversation with Healed right now. You guys just ignore us, okay?
Here we go.
Healed.
Lightning round.
The new Pokemon were revealed. Well, some of them were revealed earlier this week. Thoughts. Shut up, Waz. Shut up.
All right. Well, Electric Puppy is cute
Dude,
because it's a puppy.
It's a corgi.
obviously.
It's a goddamn corgi.
Yes, it's literally your dog, and there you go. You can train your own dog to beat up other animals.
Yep.
Have fun.
Just like real
But,
life.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, I mean, the rock one made out of coal is kind of cool. I'm kind of confused why it's just a rock type, but hey, whatever. I mean, it's literally coal and it breathes fire. Not a fire type though. It probably evolves into one. Whatever.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it evolves into a fire type.
I like the weird. I like Mr. Weird Giant like metal dragon thing, but that's just because I'm betting my poor Dialga's not going to make it in the stupid game, and I'll have to use a different Dragon Steel type. So, yeah.
Okay, and you didn't comment on the goddamn whipped cream Pokemon?
Whipped cream Pokemon. Whipped cream Pokemon is probably it's a fairy type, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So it'll be part of my second team because for me it's either steel or fairy types. Those are the two types I use. So there we go. Boom. I'll
Okay.
train it.
I like that Pokemon. I like its design. It's unique. It's different. But holy crap. I was on Twitter the day that it was revealed, and a lot of people were saying and drawing a lot of inappropriate things with that Pokemon.
Of course, dude. It's Pokemon. It gets like. We're not even gonna go into it, but it gets really bad.
It was
Pokemon.
like 45 minutes after the announcement. Like, it was so fast.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, just look at Zorora, I think is what the electric cat.
Yeah.
Lucario, Gardevoir.
Oh, Gardevoir is yeah, that one.
Yeah, but Zorora got
it's
it
pronounced
really fast.
God of War.
It's not. Thank you very much.
Hey, that's a game that
So
both
ignorant.
of you have to play, by the way. Wait, no more. No more. Have you played God of War, the new one?
I've platinumed it.
Did you love it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I also love that this was longer than 30 seconds.
No more is my new best friend on this panel. He's the only one that's played God of War. And that's going to lead me to the next topic.
Is this where you're going to talk about like Pokemon 2?
No,
we're on Pokemon 74, by the way.
that was our lightning round. That's why it was fast.
Hey, look, Pokemon is important to me. And it's important to a lot of other people. It deserved it, okay? But
Deserved the minute and 30 seconds we gave it.
yeah. But
I won't lie, I have a favorite Pokemon.
is it Pikachu? If it's Pikachu, leave.
Well, I specifically. I'm sorry. I guess I should have been more specific. I have a favorite game,
Oh,
like a whole generation.
okay.
Really.
Is it the first one? If it's the first one, leave.
No, it's Pokemon Silver.
Okay.
I spent well over 100 hours in that game.
But that's acceptable. That's acceptable.
Yeah.
All right, there you go.
But all right,
I
moving
have a
on.
favorite
Anyway,
Pokemon,
moving
too.
on.
No. Shut up, Waz. No.
Moving on.
Waz was born like 50 years before Pokemon came out, so he has no comment on this.
Yeah. And
Well,
that
hold
was
on.
over.
What year did Pokemon start?
1997, 98.
I think it's
I
98.
was there. I was graduating high school.
Okay, all right, hold on. Seriously, next topic. Okay, in my opinion, I have two games that are tied for the best games of this generation so far. It might change next year. Those two games are God of War and Red Dead Redemption 2. I cannot pick between the two of them. What, in your opinion, is the best game that you've played that came out this generation?
All right, that is pretty easy for me actually. It's Monster Hunter World. There you go.
Alright, fair. No more?
Super Kids Racing.
See, I get that 100%, but you're totally wrong.
Well, considering
hold on.
Considering this was
throwing-
an opinion, this was an opinion question. I feel like that saying you're wrong is not allowed.
No,
But-
I'm with
This is the
Heel.
exception.
I'm with Heel.
To be fair, that was not a good answer.
You think?
Hey, it was well worth $2. to play that game for those 4 trophies. All right,
All right.
well worth it.
All right.
Anyway,
And he wonders why his backlog's so big.
Yep.
hey, it didn't take me long. That was 11 minutes well spent. Anyway, I really don't know, and I'm not trying to play the sit on the fence card, but
It is your favorite place to be.
yeah, probably. I'd have to say, like, really thinking about it, Devil May Cry 5. I've looked forward to that game for a long time, and it lived up to every single expectation and exceeded them, to be honest. So yeah, I'd have to say Devil May Cry 5.
That's interesting. I really don't hear too many people talking about that game with such high praise. I mean, I definitely heard it's a good game, but
Sure, yeah.
alright, fair enough. Was?
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Okay. Was is back on my my good list. You
I
know,
just liked it because it had a story mode difficulty.
Hold on. I played 75% of the game before that patch.
so
Alright.
you missed out on the hardest part. Gotcha.
What hardest? What do you mean?
The
the
end.
hardest part? No. Well, yeah. Then I switched to the story difficulty.
Jesus Christ. I was just about to praise you. Oh my
You're
god.
welcome. I
Hale,
saved you
why,
the trouble.
why'd you have to bring that up? Now I remember it, and it's like, he basically didn't play the game.
Well, of course I played the game.
I'm joking. No, but I hear a lot of people recently bad-mouthing that game for some reason, and I really don't get it. I thought it was a really solid game. Actually, I think it's my second favorite PlayStation 4 exclusive. Not counting Persona 5, because technically it's on PS3.
Well, I am not going to talk about it because it will go on for a while. Yeah.
I think
What, Horizon Zero Dawn?
Yes.
I think we've talked about it before. I think I remember what you said. I'm just going to ignore it because you're wrong.
Not wrong. I have a very good reason, but
Hey, if no more can be wrong with his opinion, you can be wrong with yours. It works
His
both
I'm
ways.
opinion-
Hold on, I am curious.
I
What's
already
your
told
problem?
you.
But I don't
Dude,
remember
Dude,
these things.
he's an old man. His memory is not what it used to be.
Right. My problem with it was, well, coming from me, who is very into the whole story thing, I just hated the end of the story, and it felt like it didn't, like, it made the rest of the story seem inconsequential when you get to the ending, and that's
Yeah.
the thing I didn't like.
Yeah, I remember we talked about this.
Okay, now I remember this.
Okay, it's a fair complaint. Honestly, it is. But I enjoyed the gameplay so much, the world, and even the characters that I didn't really mind the ending as much because of it. I liked the overall product enough to look away from the somewhat questionable ending. But yeah, I mean, I think it's insane that God of War has been out for more than a year and neither one of you have played it.
And again, just so that you get amazed even more, I pre-ordered it.
That is so sad.
I didn't even buy it until it was under $15.
I had that game
I don't mind.
early.
I don't mind. I don't mind that so much. Healed. I do mind what Waz just said.
Yeah, no, what Heel did...
It-
see, I understand it from Heel's point of view because he didn't like the first 3 games. So it's like, yeah, I wouldn't pay full price for a game if I didn't like the predecessors. But
Sure.
with Waz, it's like, why?
You know
Yeah,
what I think
'cause-
part of
'cause-
it is that everyone keeps saying how great of a game it is, so it makes me want to play it even less.
Yes,
So
I can relate to that.
And this
100%.
is coming from the thing that the other God of War games I loved. Now, grant, I know they're different.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not even the same game, but I loved the other God of War games. So it's not like I'm new to the franchise or series or anything like that. It's that everyone talked to, oh, you have to play it. It's the greatest game. It's the greatest game. It's the greatest game. I'm worried that I'm going to play it and I'm going to think it's garbage because my expectation is through the roof.
I have that.
I'd rather
I'd
just play it when I'm bored.
I had that same problem with The Last of Us. I didn't play The Last of Us until 2 years ago because I thought there's no way this game is as good as what people claim it is, and I didn't think it was. It was still a really good game, but I can kind of what I don't get is why pre-order in the first place.
I bought the collector's edition
Why?
because I sold all the other stuff, and the game didn't cost me anything then.
I don't know. I had that game. I had that game early. I have a connection because I live in New York City. I can get games early, so I do that sometimes. And I remember the first day I came home with it, I did not go to sleep. That's how much I enjoyed that game. I was up for like a good 20 hours playing the game without any breaks, besides obviously going to the restroom.
All right. Well,
So
I'm just gonna continue to not play it just to spite you. Yeah.
hey, Waz, we have to have a conversation later about someone in this call.
Oh, finally, a conversation not about whether or not you should remove me.
Oh, we already have that one.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
A couple
It's-
times.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll have,
Well,
we're gonna
also
have the
had-
update about no more updates later.
Let's
We
see,
also
how many
just-
more jokes of that can we make in this call?
But yeah, no, I'm just not gonna play it for a while because I have things that I would much rather play.
You promised me.
Yeah, but then Dragon Quest Builders came out, and
You know
I
what?
care more about that.
I gave you a pass with the Final Fantasy expansion because I know that's like your favorite thing in the world. I do not give you a pass with Dragon Quest Builders. And,
Oh, come on.
and you know what, Charles, if you're listening, the fact that you're account sharing with him and giving him access to that game is very disappointing to me.
Aw, come on.
Very disappointing. Also, Waz has absolutely no excuse whatsoever, so that's even worse.
True that. True that.
I like Dragon Quest, alright, man. Actually, I like Dragon Quest better than Final Fantasy as a
Alright.
series.
I've never played a Dragon Quest game before in my life. But
Dragon Quest VIII. Booyah, that's where
I-
you should start.
I will play the newest one. I own it. I will play it sometime this
Definitely
summer.
Play that.
Yeah.
That game is third on my list for best games on PS4.
I will get to it sometime this summer / early fall, and I will let you know what I think. I love turn-based RPGs though, so I'm certain I'll love it. Anyway, I think we've had a pretty good conversation tonight. It was awesome having no more updates here, even though his name is a lie.
Oh, here it comes. Yeah. All right.
Well, you
It's
know,
a
we
lot.
gotta have that guy that just sits in the middle of everyone all the
Yep.
time,
Yeah.
right?
Why can't we just go back to not to talking crap about Waz when he's not like he's not here?
Hey,
But I am.
Like when we have the conversations when I'm not a guest in the podcast.
hey. We never talk crap about Waz. We just blame him for everything bad that happens. There's a difference, okay?
Yeah. All right.
All right. Well,
All right.
Guess. All right. Well, with that, we are out of time.
all
So,
right.
on behalf of Dex, Healed, and Mr. I Like Lots of Updates, thanks for listening. See you next time.